Let's start with the main story of the week, and that would be there is a podcast network, Cast Media, who has allegedly stole around $4 million from their podcasters. If you don't know how these massive podcast networks work, they essentially go out, find popular podcasters, or find famous people who may want to podcast. They sign contracts with them. Then they go to advertisers and say, hey, advertiser, look how many famous people we have. Look how influential these people are. Look how many downloads we get. Give me money, please. And those talented and, more importantly, influential people will read ads to their audience. Then you give me that money. I send that money to the podcasters. That's how it's supposed to work. Being that this story is about allegedly stealing $4 million, you can imagine that is not how it went. I will link a couple of resources in the episode notes and description in case you want to hear from a few different people. The first two links are from James Cridland's podnews.net. He covered this story back in July of 2023. So this is not a new story. This has been around for a while. It has been known. And then he covered it again on the 15th of September. But the reason this blew up and became very important or very front of mind for people is CoffeeZilla made a video about it. And it was sent to me by Docky Reed. So I will link both of those resources in the episode notes and description. I highly recommend watching and listening to both of them. But I am going to do my best to give you a top-level summary of how I interpreted the story. There's a guy who starts a podcast network. I hear people talking about how much money is in podcasting. I want to start a network and make my buck off of podcasting. In order to do that, he needs to get talent. He needs to get podcasters to sign on to his podcast network. How do you do that? Monies, please. So he makes guarantees to those podcasters saying, I will give you X dollars every single month. That may work for a certain amount of time in a great economy when revenue is flowing like the rivers. Yeah, that's fine. But advertising slowed down. Podcasting revenue dried up. And because of that, he was allegedly unable to make those payments to those podcasters who he had guarantees with. So how does one remedy this? Do they go to the podcasters and say, look at this, the revenue is drying up. The revenue is 70% down. I can't make those guaranteed payments to you every single month. We need to renegotiate. No, that's a coward's way out. You go out and seek new talent, more popular talent, and make them guarantees as well. Starting to sound like a pyramid scheme a little bit, I think. So that is how that worked. I can't make guarantees to the current talent, so I will find new, more popular people, make them guarantees, then sell ads on their shows, so increasing the number of ads that we're selling, which should increase revenue, and then I can take that revenue to pay the people that I already owe money to. That's how that went. And then Podcast One, apparently they are not associated with Cast Media or the CEO of the company, but they made offers to pay all the unpaid earnings to those podcasters if they signed a contract with Podcast One. Apparently they were just trying to be nice. I don't know much about that, but that's about it. These podcasters are owed about $4 million and they aren't going to get it. It doesn't seem like they are going to get it. That was a very simplified version, a simplified top-level breakdown of how this went. Go watch the full video from CoffeeZilla and the podnews.net episodes. One quick note. This will not be the last story we hear about this, where podcasters are owed money and they do not get paid by their podcast network. The reason I'm saying that, Here is a clip from podnews.net.
Now, the CoffeeZilla video alleges that minimum guarantees were made to creators by Cast Media that became unsustainable. Similar minimum guarantees have been made and then cancelled by Audio Boom and Audi's agreement with APM. A Tenderfoot TV agreement with Cadence 13 is the subject of legal action currently, and we're aware of at least one further podcast network who is not paying creators on time.
There you go. So James Cridlin of podnews.net knows of at least one more podcast network who is not paying their content creators. So expect another story to be coming out sometime in the future where a bunch of podcasters say, we are owed millions of dollars. Give us our millions of dollars. And then you have somebody saying, whoops, whoopsie doopsie, I spent it all. Whoopsie doopsie, I bought a new house. What was that voice? I don't know. What do I think you can do to avoid this? Keep in mind, I am an independent podcaster who doesn't make any money on this, and I am kind of a dope, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I want to start by saying I hope all of the podcasters who are owed money by Cast Media and by whatever the other company not paying their podcasters is, I hope they get the money that they are owed. That's the first thing I want to say. Number one, always read the fine print. It's easier said than done. Get a lawyer, get a contract reading guy, and have them read through it. It's always a good idea. Number two, remember, if things are too good to be true, chances are they are too good to be true. If somebody says, hey, make a podcast for me, I will pay you $1 million every single month. I will pay you $300,000 every single month. If that seems too good to be true, if you are not pulling in that much money via advertising prior to signing with them, question, how are they doing that? Is it too good to be true? Is it real? Are they lying to me? Am I going to get that money? Number three, this is less podcasting advice, this is less contract advice, and this is more just general life advice. Avoid lifestyle creep and live below your means. And this is more geared towards the CEOs of all of these companies because this is happening in podcasting. And this just happened in the watch area. A gray market dealer would sell people's watches. He would take the money from those sales and then live extravagantly. He stole millions of dollars from people. Seems like it's the same thing here. So what is lifestyle creep? You may live a life with a budget of $2,500. You pay $1,000 for rent. You get a raise of 100%. Now you earn $5,000. Instead of staying at the house or the apartment that you have for $1,000, you go out, you get a nicer place. Now your rent is $2,500. So as your revenue, as your pay, as your take-home money increases, so do your expenditures. That's a very easy way to make sure that you are always living paycheck to paycheck. So by avoiding lifestyle creep, yeah, you may not be living extravagantly. You may not be able to post on social media. Look at all these amazing vacations I'm on. Look at this amazing car. Look at all these amazing suppers I go out to. Can't post that. But you are living a reserved life. You are living a fiscally responsible life. It is wonderful. And living below your means, if you get in $10,000, you don't need to turn around and spend $10,000. You can spend $500. And then save some. Put it in a retirement. Save it for a rainy day. Have an emergency fund. That's advice for the CEO. Stop it. Stop being such crooks, you scumbags. Absolute scumbags. Why are there so many of these people? So many of these absolute bottom of the barrel leeches just ripping people off. Oh, I'm going to sell their watches and then go drive fancy cars and just go on vacation. Stop it. I almost swore. Number 4. I don't know. I don't know. I'm an independent podcaster who doesn't like ads. I hate ads, so I don't read them on this podcast or my main YouTube channel. I don't make a lot of money. I have relegated myself, or I have understood the fact that I am never going to get rich doing this. Since 2020, my revenue has dropped 70 to 85%. So don't take any financial advice from me. But you know what I'm not doing? I wasn't allowing lifestyle creep. I wasn't living beyond my means. So I'm still comfortable as heck. I'm still rocking and rolling. And I'm having more fun doing this than I did back in 2020 when I was earning 80% more money. So don't take advice from me on money because I suck at this. But hey, maybe we don't all need to do this to make boatloads of money. Maybe we can just do it because it's fun. What a novel idea. That's really it. I will link the Pod News and the CoffeeZilla video in the episode notes. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. I hope everybody gets paid. I hope they get the money they're owed. And I hope everybody is much more careful going forward. It seemed like a lot of people let social media dictate how they spend their money, and they allow it to corrupt them, to commit crimes where they steal millions of dollars just so they can post fancy-looking photos on... It's absolutely insane. It's absolute insanity. How did we get to a place where somebody said, oh, you know what? I'm going to commit a felony so that I could post a pretty picture on Instagram. You are an absolute imbecile. You are an idiot. How did we get here? Absolutely disgusting.